What's going on, guys? All Blitzel here, and today I'm back with my take on Lugia VSTAR. Lugia VSTAR has quickly established itself as one of the best decks of all time. It has just been utterly dominant this format. It never really was in question for the best deck in format, but it's sort of in a weird spot to where this build of the Lost Box that came out of OCIC that Azul managed to take down the whole event with does definitely pose some problems. So I am playing the usual Lugia cast of characters, pretty much all your usual Pokemon. A pretty typical supporter count. You could turn one of those boss's orders into a Marnie if you desire. Your usual 4 Incense, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Quick Ball. 1 Vacuum is lower than some people like it, but it's fine for me. And then 1 Choice Belt is a little low as well, but it's not super. You only really need it in Mirror, and even then 1 is usually fine. You're only going to be needing it to take out a V-guarded Lugia in Mirror. And that's only usually matters if you go second sometimes. So the one card I'm playing that people do not usually play is Cape of Toughness. And my reasoning behind this is Stoutland is an amazing tacker into that Lost Box matchup. Double Dip Fangs, being able to take 2 prizes is awesome, but if they can one-shot me back with a Belted Snorlax, a Zamazenta, a Dragonite, then it's basically a 2-for-2 trade and not that great. But if I can put a Cape of Toughness on and put a V-Guard Energy on, nothing they have in their deck can one-shot me unless they're playing like Zygarde or something, which it's not nothing that we've seen in a very long time. So I know it's a little flawed into the amazing Rayquaza build, but I'm just saying I've seen the 2 lists that made top 8, the list that Pedro Torres and then the list that Azul played, both would not have a good way at all to deal with Cape Stoutland. If people just net deck those Lost Box lists for Knoxville, I think you can have a pretty solid time into Lost Box, and that's why I'm playing the heavier build of boss's orders, so like an Irida for Lumineon Cape, and then double dip for 2, or just hold out, and then I can on the extra Lumineon for boss and start swinging with that Stoutland for multiple prizes. So yeah, I have been playing Skyla for a while, but I've definitely enjoyed Irida in this build. One thing you can do is take out the Wash Energy for a 3rd capture if you so desire. I also like having it to put it on the Manaphy for that little extra peace of mind into that Lost Box matchup. Also can be an extra energy to Aqua return with. And you can put it on a Lumineon to make it immune to cryo destruction, which is also kind of cool tech for that control matchup. But I definitely think Lugia is a pretty fun deck to play. Like, I know there's probably people who don't like it because it's BDIF and everybody plays it. But I do think Lugia is a deck, while it's not super complex to play, it's pretty fun. So it definitely has that going for it. But as I said, I would definitely bring this to Knoxville if I was going. Unfortunately, I'm not, but I will include this list in my video tomorrow, where I go over my top picks for Knoxville, as well as my bold predictions, so I'll definitely don't want to miss out on that. I do have a pretty spicy deck in that video that could be the play for the event, but it's also extremely risky, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing and leaving a like on this video, and without further ado, enjoy the battles. Alright, we're getting into our first game here. So we do win the coin flip. That's always amazing when you're playing Lugia. Lugia's dominant when he goes first. Pretty solid hand for us. Not amazing, but we definitely can work with this. Opening Lugia is always ideal. Against Arceus Duraludon, just seeing that double turbo, that metal energy, that big parasol. So definitely facing down that Arceus Duraludon, which isn't necessarily our greatest matchup out there, but we do have that. Going first is always great. Hopefully we can gust down a Duraludon early. Taking Archeops is awesome. And Aurora is an awesome top deck. So I will Quick Ball out an Archeops and grab Oranguru. And I will Incense for the other Archeops and then attach the Aurora. And have both Archeopses down in my opening hand. I will stack the boss's orders as well in case of a Marnie. And we'll just pass on over to my opponent. So opening Duraludon is never ideal in the Arceus Duraludon deck. Or you would rather open that Arceus so it's easy for you to Trinity charge. But opponent does gear into a Chorus. So that's a double turbo. Getting Lost End is always interesting. Our hand, we will probably be researching this hand, but definitely could Marnie as well. We know we're tilting boss, so like we get Irida to guarantee drawing. The Lugia within our hand is kind of dead after that, so I think we're probably going to be going for a Marnie. Okay. So this is kind of interesting. Prime Wisdom here to stack the... Yeah, I don't know if that Prime Wisdom was necessarily correct at all, but I think Research is fine. No, I don't... I end up going for the Irida, which is sort of... My thought process behind it is we have Lumineon to find a supporter for us on the next turn, and then we can gust down a Duraludon on the bench and just be able to give Yveltal and close the game. So I will just put a couple powerful on. We just priced 2 powerfuls, which is pretty major. So we'll attach the V-Guard and just Tempest Dive for the knockout, and we're able to clear this collapse. So we'll be able to bench our Lumineon. So yeah, now that I think about it, I'm fine with this play. Ultra Ball is fine. Marnie's good too. So okay, we're holding onto that boss, so we will be able to get that Duraludon down. I should have really held out on that Primate Wisdom to stack the boss on top. I kind of wasted there on the Manaphy. I mean, I did draw V-Guard Energy, which is fine, but I was going to Primal Turbo that out anyway, so definitely a little suboptimal here, and we might get... I'm assuming we're going to get Marnied. I'm probably finding Duraludon Marnie off of this. So that's definitely... If they can get a Duraludon set up... Yeah, there's a Duraludon with a Parasol and a Marnie. So yeah, should have stacked the boss, but that's okay. Oh, we just dropped both our other bosses. Oh man, this is awesome. So I think I pretty much win this game. I think my opponent has much option. Top decking Yveltal just keeps on. The deck keeps helping us out here. So very fortunate draws on my part. Definitely not super optimal plays, but I can just set up this Yveltal on board, and I know my opponent can. I pride my vacuum, so they can put a Parasol on the active. RCS could make things a bit awkward, so I'm not committing all my energies to the Yveltal. I'm just going to commit a couple so I don't draw into them. So we hit. Also, vacuum is still nowhere to be seen, which still should be okay, because even if our opponent finds that Parasol, then provides awkward return, and then just finish this off with a Tempest Dive. So yeah, they turning over, they don't even find the Parasol, so we'll just be able to take this game with the with the Amazing Destruction. So definitely really showed off the power of Lugia, and yeah, my opponent just concedes. Like RCS Duraludon has been kind of labeled as a Lugia counter, but it really only works if your opponent, if you go first. Because if your opponent goes first, and they can just pressure all your Duraludon before you set up, you've done very well going second to even have a chance. So that's sort of what makes Lugia so dominant, is that just going first is just so strong. So find that Lugia, see the Yveltal, so that definitely makes me think control. So not by any means the greatest start by myself. Opening Pumpkaboo is also very bad. We don't in the mine, so yikes. Good thing we didn't get Sydney right off the bat. That would have been disastrous. But still, this is not looking super great. Opponent will just radar or sonar back the. Okay, Lumineon's a nice top deck. We can quick ball out Cape and grab Oranguru just to protect our protect our energies from a potential Sydney. I don't know why I'm thinking of grabbing Yveltal here. I think I just definitely do not want to do that. So I will just grab the Marnie to definitely a sign that my opponent has a pretty solid hand if they did not grab back that the Chorus. So Marnie is maybe can slow them down a little bit. I'm not drawing super well. I don't know why I stacked the Stoutland on top. Definitely should have been an energy. That was not very smart. Watch me get punished by Sydney. Nope, the Chorus. Sorry, never punished. Still was not a smart play, but they lost in a Sydney. Wow. They must have some pretty good cards in that. I guess Heavy Ball would definitely be one of them if the Greninja's prized. They just grab Chorus back, so they're definitely not going super fast. So we can Serena down Archeops and Stoutland, and just going to stack that powerful colorless. We finally get VSTAR, so I think this is kind of rough because I can't Summoning Star, which I probably should Summoning Star. but like I need to find that vacuum to pivot. I should have at least used Summoning Star because I am susceptible to an Echoing Horn, and I only have one potential Archeops, and that Sydney doesn't bother us too much. Losing energy is a bit of a pain, but could have been much worse. Yeah, they're recycling Sydney aggressively, so I'm gonna Guru and stack that Powerful. This is so rough because I don't want to pivot this Pumpkaboo. I don't want to commit 4 energies to move the Pumpkaboo just to start attacking. So I'm like kind of wanting to look to find Vacuum first. So I'll Primal Turbo and just check the deck. Vacuum is in there, but our Bird Keeper is not. So I'm just gonna pass on over. We have no energies in our hand, so we cannot get hit if I Sydney. As long as we don't have any energies in our hand, we've done in play. So just kind of have to stay patient here and wait for our moment to finally go in. We'll just need to find that Vacuum, and then we should be able to get moving. We know they have a Sydney in hand, so we have to always make sure we never have a special energy in our hand. It's kind of hard sometimes because you draw them off the prize cards, or just you only can put one back into your deck with the Oranguru. So sometimes we can't control those things, but this is kind of tough. I think I'm just gonna go in. I want to hit this Vacuum. We did not. I have 3 energies in hand. This is so bad. Oh no. Oh, that is such a lucky to find out the Primate Wisdom. I should have definitely gone for the Incense to thin out the Archeops. But that was very lucky. Because I would have been in a horrible spot had my opponent been able to Sydney us. They still can. Like a Sydney Cry would be very bad. That'd be a loss of 5 energies in 1 turn, but at least we can get that Tempest Dive down. At least get the bad Pokemon out of the active spot, start taking prizes, putting pressure. It's all started coming together a little bit, but Bird Keeper still being prized is very rough. Dropping that Temple of Sinnoh, or not Temple of Sinnoh, Galar Mine, and then going to Cry. No Sydney is very interesting. So, I'll Primate Wisdom, one of those energies back into the deck. Primal Turbo. I probably should have Primal Turbo before that Ancient Wisdom, or Primate Wisdom, but we will just go for that. Tempest Dive, take the knockout. Now our opponent's kind of in a weird spot. Like they didn't get a ton of Yveltals down early, so they're might have to. I don't know why they haven't benched as many guys, because now they're I don't know if they're just drawing bad or what, but I feel like my opponent's either drawing poorly or playing correctly. Yeah, that's a big wave off the Sydney. Miltank does mean we need to keep some Powerfuls in deck to be able to use Speedwing to one-shot it. Galar Mine's not that useful. So I will Ultra Ball out the Archeops and Manaphy to thin things out a little bit. I'll take the Archeops out of the deck, Ultra Ball out Archeops and Ultra Ball, and grab a Lugia. And I think we just Tempest Dive here. I don't necessarily need to Marnie. My opponent isn't just like popping off. Finding Bird Keeper is huge. So now, even if they go Mine, Boss, Cry, we still have the Bird Keeper. Definitely could have gone for that Marnie, knowing my opponent had Galar Mine in hand. But I mean, my opponent didn't have like didn't just completely like they're just playing Pikachu. That's a huge misplay. So I don't think my opponent's necessarily playing the best. But let's give us an advantage because usually it's a pretty tough matchup. And our top deck just keeps giving to us. So I'll put the Wash in the Aurora. I will Primal Turbo this other Aurora. And I'll Gust that Flying Pikachu and take the knockout. And we have enough energies to close out the game after this. I'll stack the Bird Keeper on top. Just in case of a Marnie. We did draw into a Powerful Energy, which is not ideal. But I probably should put that on the active. Manually attached it just so it couldn't get discarded with a Sydney. Still got discarded from Flannery, but at least, yeah, it's just card destruction. So we'll be able to close out this game. I think my opponent just had to hope. I don't know. It would have been pretty hard for him to win regardless. But we'll take this game, but definitely not great play by either player here, but we still got there. All right, on to our final game here. And we're going first, which is always awesome. And double Archeops in my hand, not bad opening. Stoutland's never your ideal starter, but our hand is quite good. So we'll Ultra Ball. I always would get frustrated when my opponent would get double Archeops in their opening hand, but like after playing a couple games of Lugia, you're like, dang, you get double Archeops so much, which is just, it's funny. I know you're playing 12 ball search cards and then your 4 physical Archeops, so you have lots of ways to find them, but it's just funny. Definitely could have Ultra Balled out the Archeops in the Irida to find that Lugia VSTAR, but I kind of want to hold the Irida and find my Cape of Toughness, and maybe start swinging with my Stoutland on the next turn. Lost swinging a Cramorant means that spitting into the Stoutland may be a little unlikely. So, being against Giratina is kind of weird. I have not seen Giratina much at all in this meta, because Lugia is so good against it, and the single prize build of Lost in Box has a much easier time into Lugia. But I did see, I don't remember what tournament it was at, but there was someone who was playing a Giratina deck with Amazing Rare Raikou, which I kind of wanted to make a video about, but I never got around to doing it. So it might be one I make in the near future. I did like playing Giratina a lot back last format, the Lost Origin format, but it's just not super viable right now. But I think it will be a lot better post-rotation when Lugia is a lot less good. And it always had a pretty solid Mew matchup, and I don't think that'll be going anywhere. This is kind of weird. I could boss and KO that Giratina, but I think I'm just gonna double dip Fangs and research. So this is all good. We will Primal Turbo before we research, because we don't want to draw into these energies. There's always a chance that we just Primal Turbo into all of our powerfuls, and then we can't attack, or at least take this knockout. So definitely one sequencing thing that you always should do. So I think Manaphy Wash is fine, because then we, I don't know if they're playing Kyogre. Like I expect them to, if they're playing Giratina at this point, they probably have some sort of tricks. So I'm just trying to cover all my bases. And we'll double dip for 2 prizes on that Comfey. Looking in a pretty good spot, because even if they take this knockout on the Stoutland, I will have to find my one of Choice Belt to respond, but I also could go for Amazing Destruction. So we have plenty of options. There is a conceal card for my opponent, so they definitely need to find that Mirage Gate and the Giratina VSTAR. Because even if I did Irida for Cape there to make my Stoutland tankier that last turn, I still could have just got Star Requiem'd, and then I saw a lot less cards. So I think what I did was probably correct, because it should be pretty easy for me to take this knockout. I just need to find Yveltal or that Choice Belt. Looks like we'll just be Marnieing. See more cards than that Bird Keeper. So, and we have lots of energies in hand already. We find that Quick Ball, so that means we can find that Amazing Rare Yveltal. We can Incense it then out the Archeops. Plenty of Auroras in deck, and we did drop the energy on the Manaphy on the last turn, which useful to help us retreat. We can Primal Turbo on a couple Auroras, and then I'll Primal Turbo on a double Turbo energy, and then I do want to hold my remaining Auroras because I can potentially use Amazing Rare Raikou. That's why we put the speed and the heat energy, so we can use both of these guys in one game, and we take 2 prizes on that Giratina. And now this is why it's so hard for Giratina into that Lugia matchup, because they were kind of like the original 2 prize deck that could play like a 1 prizer, but Lugia plays so much better, has that such more strong 1 prize game plan. Like their 1 prizers are so much better. So they will spit for the knockout, and now I'm going to try to use Raikou to take the game here. Bird Keeper. So I have sort of a backup plan. Even if we don't find that Raikou, I can Bird Keeper back into the Lumineon, and then Aqua return anyway, so we are fine, even if or we can Smart. I think Bird Keeper is probably better. We find the Quick Ball, so we're going to be able to take this game with the Raikou. Yeah, Marnie is probably okay too, because they had a big hand, and we always could just take the knockout with Tempest Dive, even if we missed the Raikou, so we'll be able to Amazing Shot both the Cramorant and the Comfey and take this game. And those were 3 pretty solid games for Lugia, so yeah, this has been Lugia VSTAR. Thank you guys for watching. As I said, this is definitely one of the strongest decks of all time and would be my top pick for Knoxville. I wasn't able to show off that Cape of Toughness like I wanted to, but I still think it is a worthwhile card to include because just of that lost box scenario that I explained early on in the video. But yeah, any questions about this list, drop them in the comments below and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. Or if you want to personally reach me, my email will be in the description below as always. And also the PTCGO import will be in the description if you want to try this deck yourself. And I thank you guys so much for watching, all the support that I've been receiving, people who send me messages or send me emails. Like, it really means so much to me, guys, that people not only are watching these videos, liking my videos, subscribing to my channel, but just also enjoy these videos, that they gain something, or they just, it's entertaining. It really makes me happy. It makes my day that people enjoy watching my videos. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and this has been All Up Bledsoe, and I'll catch you in the next one.